Hey guys, can you hear me? Cool. I'm gonna go and get started here. TJ, I'm actually doing this tomorrow for a pen test interview. So feel free to shoot me questions or critique me. I guess just send me a DM. This is my stuff. I've been a sysadmin for 3 years. I graduated from East Carolina about a year ago. Since then, I've gotten these certs. Um, you may see that as interesting. You might not. Um, I'm also involved in a few different security communities, and I've participated in several competitions. NTL, MACCDC. I just did a tracer fire training event. Um, and I am a mod / co-owner at NICEC Focus, which is a kind of a community for InfoSec students. Um, Involved in that, I actually helped develop a partnership with Hack the Box, going along with competitions. It's kind of a pen testing lab, sort of like the OSCP labs. Um, and what you're seeing today is actually how I kind of got started in InfoSec, at least like diving into serious material. A little over a year ago, I did my first VulnHub live stream. It was the first time I'd ever done a VulnHub. I just decided to stream it. And I had a few other people who were more experienced in the field kind of watching me and critiquing me and uh, my methodology and workflow and stuff. But that's enough about me. Tonight, I'm going to be using a stock Kali image. The vulnub that we're doing is SickOS1.2. You can read the info on that page if you want to follow along at home. But without further ado, I'm going to jump on in. So for this box, the way this is going to work is I'm going to kind of cover some of the tools, at least for the enumeration phase, that are relevant to this machine. I'm going to skip over, the numerous things I probably would have tried before, at least a couple of these. But we're going to hop over to my Kali box here. Cool. So let me clear this up. Can I make my terminal font bigger? I don't think so. I'm not going to be using this laptop tomorrow, TJ. Let's see. So if you're not familiar with VulnHub, basically you download a VM image and just stand it up. And when you boot it up, you're presented with something like that, with no credentials, and your goal is to root the box. So let's do a net discover. It's actually a 24. Cool. So we have 130. What net discover is, it listens for ARP requests on the network and tries to enumerate the different hosts that are talking. So 130 is our guy. So let's give it an mmap scan. T4. So while this runs, the T4, that's the speed. It's considered aggressive. The A flag is what that does is it enables OS detection and service version detection, and it does a few other things. And the V is for verbose. So looking through this, you can see we have port 22. It won't let me highlight, but port 22 and 80 open. So let's do this here. Open up Firefox. Let's try browsing to it since we see a web server. And we get a sweet little meme. There's nothing really interesting on this page. I can't, my right click isn't working for some reason. I could probably, nope. Oh, there it is. Tools. Ep3 doesn't like me tonight. I can't even click off of this. But you can just trust me that that there's nothing really in this page source. I wonder if I can fix it. No, all right. So there's nothing interesting on this in the source of this. So what I like to do now, usually at this point I would probably run like something like Nikto to try to see what other information I can get about the machine. But I'm gonna save some time here. I don't know where I have dir search installed on this. Might be on my desktop. I have it a lot more streamlined on my other PC, but I don't have streaming software on there. Locate dir search .py. CD tools. Cool. Fantastic. So let's go and run this. And we need to specify URL and an extension. In this case, we're going to use PHP. Python 3. So we're getting a lot of 403s. Nothing incredibly interesting so far. I'll save you the time and index PHP and index PHP/login. When I was testing this on my other laptop, it just broke the image and it was the same page. But we do have this test directory. So if we go and navigate to it, we get a little directory. So what's interesting about the directory on this box is test. Cool. So what this curl syntax is saying, v for verbose, and x forces curl to use a specific HTTP verb, in this case options. So we're getting the options, and we can see right here that webdav is enabled, as well as the HTTP verb put. So if you're thinking what I'm thinking, we might can get a little reverse shell action here. I totally don't remember where my oh, there it is. So this is the reverse PHP shell script that's in users share web shells PHP. And I've already set up the options here that I'm going to be using. The reason that I'm actually using 443 is because the victim machine over here has some egress filtering rules that block a lot of outbound ports. 443 is not one of those. One of those that is allowed. So we're going to try to upload this now. By the way, Nmap actually has, for both of the curl commands that I'm doing, Nmap actually has a script to do both of these things. PHP, the V is for verbose, URL, http :/10 10 10 130 /test /1.php. We're also going to specify the HTTP version, which is 1. This 0 and this is actually redundant. The tag 0 and 1.0 are the same thing. So we're completely uploaded. So let's take a look back in this directory. And now, all we need to do is set up our listener. Had to hit enter on it. There we go. Cool, and we got a shell. So let me hop back over for a second before I go too far ahead of my slides. So from our enumeration phase, these are the tools we used. I think I explained all of them. What do we find? We found a secret test directory. Live stream went offline. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going. And just save the VOD or something. So our web server had a secret that allowed the use of HTTP put as an untrusted user. There's also an Nmap script, as I mentioned, for that. It allows for this, in this case, it allows for files to be uploaded arbitrarily. We're not quite there yet. So on this, usually when I get a low privilege shell, one of the things I like to run on a Unix system is Linux privilege checker. Linux priv checker is the name of the script. There's a link for that in my slides. I'll show it later. But I'd like to hear some feedback because considering the only port allowed out is 443 that I was able to find, at least. I'm thinking I'd have to set up another box and transfer over because I'm already listening on 443 on this box. If that makes sense. But if you use Got Milk's guide, I have a link to that in my updated slides. Linux priv checker, or he's got a a good guide on his blog. But what you can find if you go through that whole thing is you can go to Etsy cron.d.daily. And let's see what's in here. So app stuff, not super interesting. HTTPD, not super interesting. Interesting. I'm not sure what password's doing in there. If you know, enlighten me. Popularity contest is an Ubuntu thing. But what is interesting is check rootkit. And we can see that it's version 0.49. And if you give me just a second, I already have this pulled up on my other laptop, but I want to be able to show you. Here it goes. On exploit.db, here's a vulnerability. This is the code from check rootkit, this particular version. And this line right here, because this section isn't surrounded in quotes, it says on here. Yep, because there aren't quotation marks around this section right here. What this line is actually doing is it's actually updating, executing all of these files. So if we can write to any of this, then we have remote code. We have command execution is the user that it's running as. In this case, it's root. On my other laptop, I already have, because it's in cron daily, it runs once a day. On my other laptop, which I thought it was going to be streaming on, there is. I've already done this. But basically, what I did is I chmoded inside of. We'll just do it here. Echo chmod 777 Etsy sudoers and then sudo errors. Oops. Echo I don't remember the exact syntax. I already have it saved on my other laptop. But basically what I did, I'd have to Google it right now. You set it up to have no password. I think there's like an all before that. It's like all, no, oops. I'm probably butchering this. But in my presentation tomorrow, I'll have it already pulled up. And I echoed that into Etsy sudoers now that I've changed the permissions. And then I change them back. I think those are the right permissions. And then all that goes into temp update. And I did something funky with the quotes here as well. So this probably won't even work, or it'll just do like this section. I don't know. But I think I'm not sure if I actually did this method when I rooted this box on this machine. Nah. So it's actually going to try to ask me for password there. So I must have rooted it another way when I did it before. I probably used the same method, but I don't think I did the SE sudoers. I might have just done another reverse shell. Or catted the flag, because I think the flag is in the description on VulnHub. So that's all I can show you. I'm sorry I can't show you a root shell. And I realize my syntax is wrong in a couple places here. Let's pull up my slides. So if this were a public-facing internet box, open to the world, what are the administrators doing wrong? The HTTP put verb, we were able to access it as an unauthenticated, untrusted user. Additionally, the test directory that we found that had this verb enabled, as well as WebDAV, was on the production website on the same server. So it was also easy to guess. It was just /test. So that might be something that's more like security through obscurity, but it still comes to my mind. So we also learned that if you have execution on world writable files that run as a cron job, that's not good, and you should fix that. Cool. So here's some links. These are the tools that I didn't show you. Simple HTTP server for time's sake, but there's the links to the other stuff. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out.